BTC has finally taken out the all-time high, and now we've also swept previous week's liquidity, and there's a possibility we can fully collapse from here. So in my previous video, I said to you, I want to see how this weekly candle closes before I make any decision of where I think BTC is going to go. And what we can see is we had the all-time high down here at 124,500. We swept liquidity down here and we failed to close above. Given that we failed to close above and close below, this gives me more conviction that BTC is going to come to the downside into the regions of 100K. Now, I also said I want to see the sweep of liquidity of previous week's high first to make a decision on where price is going to go. Ideally, I wanted to see price come a bit more deeper into around the 128K region before we move to the downside. So there is always a possibility that although that this candlestick's currently looking bearish, that we can come back up and tap into the 128K region before we move lower to the downside of 100K. So there's two possibilities we can have right now. And this candlestick for this week can close as a doji. And normally when we see doji candlesticks after a bullish engulfing candle, we'll normally then see a bearish engulfing candle come into the downside, tapping into our regions. Or there's a possibility that this candlestick will just continue melting down from where we are, tapping into our regions of 100K as well. The other thing that I want to show you guys is we've fulfilled some key levels down here. So we had, if I just go on the daily time frame, and I'll remove this for you guys for now, we have A, B, C tapped into this OTE level down here. We had target number 1 and target number 2 failed to close above target number 2, which is also another sign for price to come to the downside. We're currently rejecting off this target right now, so there's possibility we can come back up, like I said to you, into the 128K region and then just melt from here. But the key takeaway for this is we fulfilled an overall sequence and it's deep into the minus 61.8 level. So this is another sign for us to say that price can come to the downside. We have liquidity resting below 107K and also at 108K as well. So let's see how price reacts from this region. But just to confirm to you guys, nothing has changed. I'm still expecting BTC to come to 100K. And in fact, this is just giving me more conviction that price is going to come to the downside. The other thing that I've looked at is the sentiment and what people are thinking. We're currently right now in extreme greed. And if you go on social media, all the influencers are saying this is the final leg and we've got the full-blown alt season from here. Although we're in the final phase of this cycle, I completely understand that. We're not at the levels we need to be at for there to be an official alt season. And what I mean by that is usually for an alt season to happen, we want to see something disgusting. We want to see something nasty happen, and we haven't had that yet. So let's see how price reacts from these regions. Now, if I just go into the total market cap chart, because there is some added confluences that back up the idea of what we're thinking. So this move down here is mainly driven by BTC. I would say about 80% of it is driven by BTC and the rest is probably driven by the alts, including Ethereum. Now, the other thing that we can see down here is we've also had a fulfilled sequence down here. So the A, the B, the C, closing above the 61.8 and 78.6, tapping into all-time high, rejecting all-time high, tapping into this key level number 1, failure to tap into minus 61.8. Therefore, this is a possibility, like I said, and this will be driven by BTC, that there is a possibility we can tap into these regions down here of around 4.35 trillion. And then we'll have the bigger move to the downside. I'll tell you where the targets are in a moment, but this is what I'm expecting. So there's two scenarios similarly with BTC. Now, given that we've had the sweep of liquidity on previous week's high, I want to see two things. This close as a doji or this close as a bearish engulfing. If this closes as a doji, I would like to see next week come back down into these regions and take out all of the liquidity below down here. Now, if we just go onto the daily time frame, so the regions that I'm looking at are around these levels down here. So if I just put in my my fib. Now, originally my fib was down here. I'm actually going to put it up just a bit more, given that we've taken our all-time high. I want to see price take out these swing points here, number one. When price does come and take out these swing points, I want to see price come into a key level down here. So around 3.45 and a possibility of it even dropping lower to around 3.23. That would be fantastic. If we put on this new dealing range as well, from this swing low to this swing high, we can see the midpoint is around 3.61. So at bare minimum, we want to see price come into this region, and that means that will take out the liquidity points down here as well. So that's it on the total. Again, we want to see a big move to the downside for us to confirm, and this will be like a fire sale for us. When we get the move to the downside, this is basically our last opportunity for us to buy our altcoins, because we won't get this opportunity again. Now, if we just go onto Ethereum, now Ethereum actually looks very great. This looks amazing. There was actually an entry which I didn't take because it didn't meet my criteria by 100%, and I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at. Let me just remove this for now. Okay, so what we were expecting on Ethereum, there's a couple of things. If I put in my fib first, so we've got A, B, C rejecting 61.8 and this order block, and we've come up. What I actually wanted to see first, and unfortunately the move was mainly driven by BTC rather than Ethereum, is I wanted to see Ethereum come and take out all-time high and tap into the regions of around 5.2 to 5.3K, but we failed to do that. So now this is one warning sign that there is a possibility that we can move up and drive up from here. And that aligns with what I've just told you on total and also on BTC moving a bit higher up as well. Now, given the fact that we haven't yet taken out all-time high and haven't tapped into and completed a sequence of A, B, C, D, this always remains a question. Now, let's remove this and see the move to the downside, because although it didn't come into the key level I was anticipating for the move to the downside, it was still a good entry. So what we have above this region here, this OTE level at 78.6, call it 4.7K. I wanted price to come and tap into this region, take out the liquidity, and then I would have looked for shorts to the downside. I would have had my stop loss above the all-time high. It would have been a higher risk, but I wanted to see something get liquidated, but we didn't get the liquidation down here. Therefore, I didn't take the short to the downside. There would have been a higher risk entry if you just placed your entry at the 78.6 with your stops above the highs down here. I usually don't take entries like this. I did take one similarly with XRP, but I wanted to see just the added confluence, but we didn't have that on here. So now what I'm looking at on Ethereum, if we look and project our forecast to the downside, nothing's changed. I'm still expecting the move to the downside. I want to see Ethereum come in, fulfill this level now. So we got A, B, C, although we have liquidity above, possibility of a sweep up, and then the move to the downside. These are the key levels I'm looking at. So we have 3.5 and we also have 3,000. These are the key levels I'm looking at. Of course, there's more that goes into these key levels, not just these minus 27% and minus 61.8. There's added confluences that I've looked at on the daily, the 4-hour, and also on the monthly, but I won't go into that. So things are looking great. If Ethereum does come back up and we do sweep this liquidity down here, I want to see where total market cap is at. I want to also see where BTC is at, and I may take an entry to the downside. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. And last but not least, XRP is doing fantastic, because there is a possibility that the move and the entry that I'm in right now can actually come and take out at least 2.4, if not lower. Ideally, I want to see $2 met, but this is the bare minimum. And I know people are probably going to be thinking, no, that's never going to happen. But I normally want to gauge the sentiment and understand people's views in the market. And what we've been seeing right now is extreme greed in the market. And normally when we see extreme greed, we want to do the opposite. And also at the same time, this coin specifically, XRP, it's like a cult coin. Everyone's thinking this is going to go to the moon, this is going to go to the moon. I have a different perspective on this. And this is why I'm looking for shorts to the downside temporarily, which aligns exactly with everything else that I've been talking about. The only thing that is slightly putting me off is we have a lot of liquidity we haven't tapped into above down here, and we didn't yet get deeper into this area down here. But that's quite common with XRP. We normally don't take out all of the liquidity until a later date. So let's just go on the daily time frame and I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking at. So my stop loss is at break even right now, and I'm currently running over 100%, which is a great trade, and I'm still going to stick by this. I'm going to take some of my partials. I'll probably close around 25% off the trade when we get to the lows down here, and that will be a market maker sell model that's fulfilled. And then my second key level would be this area down here. So that area would be from this swing to this swing, coming to this area down here. And then I'll look for my final area down here where I'll likely take off majority of the trade. I will likely scale in on some of the position, and then I'll hold the rest up until around $2 down here. So let's see how that plays out. There's nothing else to update you guys on. If there's any other entries or any other trades that I'm going to take, I'll inform you guys. And I will also create another video based on some of the coins you guys wanted me to analyze in my next video. So if you like these types of videos, I trade crypto using the ICT strategy. So go and subscribe, like, share, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.